All right, again, not ready for a LS swap or a stroker motor yet, but want to get a little bit more horsepower, fuel economy out of this inline 6, the 4.0. So, of course, you know the factory throttle body is 56 millimeter. You can get them bored out to about 62 millimeter. It's going to take it to a local shop, have them bored out. Cost me 40-50 bucks. But then I had to buy new gaskets, new seals, all that good stuff. So did some research, and I found a company, iFjF, which I'll post a link on here. I got the 1724 62 millimeter throttle body, complete kit, gaskets, new fuel line, inline fuel filter, machined aluminum system for under 100 bucks. So definitely couldn't pass that up. And then this will fit basically 91 to maybe some 03 Jeep models. So we'll get it all unboxed here, show you what I got. Then I'm actually going to measure the diameter so you can see legit what it is. I'll get this out, then we'll take the old one off and show you what parts you got to swap and see what kind of difference it makes. All right, so it comes packaged up really nice, wrapped in bubble wrap. And the unit, the throttle body itself, is actually wrapped in cellophane. Pretty good setup. New fuel line. Comes with an inline fuel filter, which it currently doesn't have on there. New gaskets for your map sensor, as well as your throttle body itself. Butterfly clamp, zip ties, and even the screws. However, I currently have a throttle body spacer on there, so I'll have to reuse the screws I've got in there. System setup really nice, clean, machined very, very well. Of course, on this you're going to reuse your air idler control intake sensor, your throttle positioning sensor, and your map sensor. Once we get the old unit off, I'll show you how to do that and put it back on. And it's a good idea to go ahead and clean those sensors while you got it apart. Less issues moving forward. So let me get this unwrapped, and then we're gonna measure this diameter just so we can see what it is and make sure it's legit. All right, so here's my micrometer. One of the reasons you don't really want to go over 62 millimeter is 62 is the size of the actual intake manifold. So if you go bigger than that, then it's got to be tapered back down so that it actually fits. So let's measure this and see what we've got. Sorry, there's a better way to see it. So legit 62 millimeter. And right on the bottom side, also 62. So straight 62 all the way through, legit, measured with the micrometer. All right, so if you haven't seen any of the other stuff I've done to this XJ, check out the page. But basically what we got here is, here's your throttle body that we are going to take off. Essentially, we're going to unhook this, which has just got a little clamp on it. I'll show you how to get these off. Real simple. They just clamp on. Same as here. It just slides on. And I do have the throttle body spacer on it, but the process is all the same with or without that. This will just stay on, and I'll put it together as one piece. Basically, all you need is you're going to unhook these. It's a 10 millimeter, I believe, which I'll verify that. 10 millimeter to pull those off. Then over here is your air idler control, but it'll come off with the unit. Over here is your map sensor, right over here. And then on the back of the unit back here is your throttle positioning sensor. All you need to do for now is just unclip the 3 wire connections, and then we'll disassemble those once we get the old intake off. All right, yeah, these are 10 millimeter bolts, so there's 4 of those. I disconnected the 4 sensors, are real easy push tab, and then with these, they're just slid on, kind of clipped. So I will show you how to get those off. This is the harder one right here. You got to put a screwdriver here and pry it off, but the others will just pop right off. Let's see if I can figure out how to position this phone so that you can see how I do that. Well, there's one right there, right? See how you extend it all the way out, and then these will just slide off. Okay, so basically what you do on this one, you just slide it all the way out, pull the tension out, and this little clip just hooks on here, Same on this one. This one, you've actually got to, see if I can do it with my phone in my hand. You gotta kind of work this one off, just like that. And then everything's good to go. I just gotta take the 4 10mm bolts off. All right, so we got side-by-side comparison. This one is obviously bigger. You can tell we measured it. This is 56, this is 62. What you're gonna do now is you're gonna undo right here your air idle control sensor from the body. You will need a special safety hex. So it's like a T25 with the center of it out, so you can get the hex out. And then you'll take these two out over here. Comes with, they give you the bit in the package to take that out, as well as the map sensor. So essentially you're just going to take these off. You've got a new gasket to go on over on the opposite side for the air idle control, and then your map just goes on here, and then you'll just take this assembly off. It goes on the other side with the new gasket. So I'm going to take those apart and show you what it looks like when I swap them. All right, now that we got these out, this unit will just come straight off, and you'll see there's a little gasket here. We're going to pull this gasket off, which is broke. I'm going to spray some carb cleaner and stuff in there, and then obviously, you know, that's going to go back on this side, and you can use your new gasket that they provided, and you just reassemble that onto the new unit. In order to not to tear your new gasket, I would suggest putting the gasket on and then starting the screws, you know, prior to just trying to force it on there. That'd be easier, and then we can just screw this on to the unit now. All right, so we got the air idle control on. So now we're going to do the same process with the map sensor. You want to undo those two hex and then slide it off of that nipple, and then your throttle position sensor, same thing, and we'll put it on this unit. All right, map position sensor on. So all we've got left is the throttle position sensor, and then we're ready to mount this bad boy back up. Put a new gasket on, obviously, between the new throttle body and the existing manifold, and don't drop anything inside your manifold, because then you're pulling the head off to get it out, so you don't damage the pistons. All right, here's the old 56 minus throttle position, air idler control, and your map sensor. Here's the 62 with all the parts on. All we have to do is reverse the process, put this bad boy on, and then there is an adjustment here if you need to fool with it. I'm going to leave it the way it sits for now. It's pretty close to what I've got, so we're going to put it together and see how she goes. All right, got it all put back together. No issues at all. You can see all the pieces bolted up just fine. Cables went back on, hooked up the sensors. I've got the breather tube off for right now, but we're going to start it up, see how she sounds. Looks really, really good. I'm very impressed with the quality and fit and finish so far. So let's start it up and see how it sounds. All right, put back together, put the breather tube back on. Don't know if you could hear it in the video or not. It's got a little whistle to it, which is great. It's sucking more air. So super impressed with this thus far. The only issue that I had was they did provide me with the correct bolts to put this in. However, because I had a spacer, they were too short. So the bolts that I had were a pain in the butt to put in. Because it sits so close to the housing that it's little quarter turns to get it in. But if you don't have the throttle body spacer like I have, the bolts they have an Allen wrench on top, would be absolutely flawless. Super impressed. Going to take us around the block. No check engine lights. All the sensors and stuff worked out perfect. So you know, stay tuned. Look at some of the other videos. I'm going to see if I get some more parts from these guys. to keep upgrading this Jeep and get it to where I want it. Like and subscribe, and I will post the link to the site in the comments. Thanks. Just got back from taking it for a spin. Now keep in mind, it's going to sound like the placebo but effect. It seems to be the biggest noticeable single change that I've done as far as throttle response and acceleration. There's only so much you're going to get out of these 4.0s without doing a turbocharger, supercharger, stroker motor, what have you. But keep in mind, I've got a snorkel tube, so I've actually got that fake, running forced air in to my breather box, which is sealed. And then inside my breather box, I have got a cone-shaped Code Air forced induction air filter. So it's all sealed going directly to the 62mm throttle body with the spiraled throttle body spacer. But all of this in conjunction, it ran flawless. I love it. It idles a lot smoother, no hesitation. So I'm definitely impressed with this throttle body, especially with the price. That's another thing too, if it matters to you or not, they don't require you to send back the core. So I've still got the factory throttle body that I can keep for spare, or I can bore it out if I want to later on. But definitely check these guys out. I'm definitely going to get some more stuff from them, and check the link out for them, and stay tuned for the next project.